Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. And just like that, season 2, episode 10, the penultimate episode. Whoop, whoop. Amanda taught me that. The Last Supper, Appetizer, hate that name. Seema is in love with Ravi. Carrie sells her apartment to Lisette. Miranda decides to join Carrie and Aiden to chase stand-up, but regrets it. And Aiden's son has a serious accident, and he rushes back home, and Carrie worries about the situation.
Yeah, well, don't date someone with kids, I guess.
This episode...
You're showing your kids a little pussy bitch.
Not so much that, I mean, they drank beer and then drove their car into a tree. I mean...
And took mushrooms, Joan.
Oh.
I think you find that out maybe next episode. There are mushrooms involved, so you know it's bad.
Well, here's my thing, is last week I was like, ooh, I like this. And then this week I'm like,
I was okay. Okay, I'm interested to see what
it was fine. It just
you still have no idea really how this season is ending. I mean, there's no way you could guess it because it's
and I don't want to know, so don't tell me.
No, I'm not. So imagine me telling you now.
Well, I already know that Anthony's gonna get butt fucked.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, but the Aiden.
Hi guys, welcome. Couple things before we get rolling. First of all, if you're on YouTube and watching us, could you please hit us with a subscription? Subscribe, please. We're trying to get to 1,000.
We had 9/11 earlier today.
I know, and I'm glad I took a screenshot of it for Amanda because now we're, I think, at more than that. What was funny is last week Amanda texted me that we hit 900. And then within, I think, about 30 minutes, someone unsubscribed. And then we sat at $8.99 for about 6 days. I was like, damn.
We'll get there.
Anyway.
I believe that we will.
If you're watching us on YouTube, hit subscribe. Also hit like, please. It really helps us out.
And hey, tell them about our new song for the weekly roundup.
Ooh, we also, every week, we are doing a fabulous show called The Weekly Roundup. And we've been doing it at Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard, or is it Mountain Standard Time? Now we're going to be changing it to noon Mountain Standard Time. So basically, it's actually, Amanda already does a live. So it's actually at the exact same time as her other one. And in fact, this one's almost easier to watch because it's not 4 hours long. I'm not dogging you out. I'm just saying.
I promise it's a lot easier to do.
This one is probably a lot easier to, like, you just dip in, check it out.
Take 2 bathroom breaks during the live, which has been consistently every episode.
You take bathroom breaks?
I take 2 bathroom breaks, yeah. I always offer one for Jody, but she says she doesn't need one.
Wow. Anyway, guys, check it out. That's live every week. It's going to be moving to noon at the beginning of the year. Not this week. The beginning of the year.
On the first hangover special, we're going to call
because
it.
I'm predicting no one will be on, but you never know.
Maybe why not? If everyone's hungover in bed, you waking up around 11 probably, shit-faced, maybe still having more drinks. And
I think a lot of people who listen to us are just like normal people who have like normal lives.
Oh, they don't have drinking problems, severe drinking problems.
Anyway, guys, check it out.
The roundup, there we are. So anyway,
New Year's Day at noon.
Yeah. Let's get into this episode, though.
Wait.
No news. Oh, sorry.
No, I've got to finish this because if we don't mention it, people won't know. Guys.
And they must know.
We've got a Patreon like every other podcast does. And you can join it for $6 a month. What's really cool over there is you can join and you get these episodes early and you get an extra episode every week that's Patreon exclusive. And for the month of December, we're doing holiday episodes. And this week, baby, we just recorded it. And it is Hot Frosty. It is the movie on everyone's lips. And
yeah. But after that,
check
we're
it out.
doing Diva's Christmas Carol and Muppet Christmas Carol. So it won't be us just hate watching something. It'll be us.
But guys, it's
genuinely
fun
liking
when we
it.
hate watch stuff, as you know
That's
from
what we're
listening
here
to our And Just
for.
Like That recaps. Check it out, $6 a month. Really, I was working that out too. It's like $1. It's like $1.50 an episode. Some months there's 5 weeks, so it's even less. So it's like
Wow.
it's kind of a deal.
All right. Well, with that said, let's get into no news and gossip.
Like-
no pictures. I didn't see any.
Nothing to report on because I want to get into this episode.
Oh yeah.
Get out.
All right. We're doing Just Like That again, season 2, episode 10, The Last Supper, Appetizer.
This photo on the cover is a warning about one of the worst and stupidest scenes I've ever seen in Sex and the City history. Thank you.
Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? I watched the documentary. And you are going to love it.
Oh. It's about the costumes and stuff.
It's like candy. Yeah, it's just you spend a lot of time just in the costume shop and then pulling
a
dress and then them showing it on the show and being like,
great.
So
love it.
Honestly, I don't even know if we can really recap it, but
guys, that's what we're going to do. So next week is technically the finale of And Just Like That. We're kind of in a holding
yeah, we're
period.
waiting.
Because anyway, next week is the finale of And Just Like That. Then we're going to do the documentary for the next week. We'll figure out something to talk about on it. I'm sure there's one piece. I just
need a date so that we know whether to wait a few weeks and just kind of fill content, or if we should. No. I feel like we should just go to Sex and the City 3.
I think then we're gonna get into season 3 of Sex and the City, baby.
Listen, I feel great about that. Also, maybe watch the documentary and see if we should even recap it, because I don't know how much there is. Actually, no, there's a lot of good, interesting stuff in there.
No, I like the idea because then it means that's the end of this year. I need.
And then you'll be fully caught up too. Like you will be as caught up on it Just Like That as the rest of us. And I am.
And you know, some people don't want to watch the documentary, so we could maybe like inform some people.
If you're a Sex and the City fan, and you don't want to watch it And Just Like That, I would say just watch the documentary, because it will make you. And it actually softens me a bit on the show, because they do talk about like, this is why we did this and this is why we did this, and we did have writers in the room that are appropriate ages, and they said that every single situation in this show has happened to at least a writer in the room. So that said, maybe we're looking at it too cynically, or it's more just the presentation of these stories are not well executed.
That phrase alone makes me want to judge it even more cynically. I do not believe that every situation. So you're telling me that someone in the writer's room was a jewelry designer who had a show in Bryant Park where people came and ransacked all the jewelry.
I was thinking more somebody was asleep in their bed and woke up to their best friend getting fingered in their kitchen. Actually, that probably has happened, though. I feel like
that's not shocking. That part is that crazy. Doesn't seem improbable.
Well, it was pretty shocking to see on TV, I will say. I didn't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
All right, let's do this. Carrie and Aiden. So we start out, we're in Coney Island, the glamorous Coney Island. And
I'll say I thought this was, I liked all of that.
Yeah, I don't love Coney Island. I love the idea of Coney Island and just rings back to old 1900s.
What's really fun about Coney Island is you have to, I'm not saying it's fun.
All the syringes laying around.
No, it's that it's like at the end of the line on the subway. It's like the very last stop, so you can feel like
One time Brad was coming home from his job because he got off at 4 a.m. and he called me. It was 7 a.m. and he's like, "I'm in Coney Island," because he fell asleep on the subway. I was fucking livid.
I can't even believe they're dropping people off in Coney Island at 7 a.m.
Those trains run all day, baby.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they're there. They both have never, or Carrie's never been there before, and they come across Steve's new place. I got my new place here.
Clams and hot dogs. Clams and hot dogs. That's just what we need. That's just what we need. Oh, wait, here we go. I'm falling into it. That's just what we need. Just clams and hot dogs.
Well, you'll get there.
Terrible.
Anyway, why? Okay,
Miranda.
so now,
Miranda. That's actually that's the lead-in.
I don't know. You did such a good job when you were reading his monologue the other day. You really fell
know.
into a rhythm there.
That's about how my acting works. Is like
Yeah.
sometimes I luck into it.
It's like an impression
It's
usually.
like wow.
Well, they're all like, "Oh, great! Oh, this is great! Oh, I barely could afford getting here. We had to take the subway because all my money is locked up in this place." So Aiden is again an investor here. I feel like this is actually a pretty, now that the pandemic's over, I feel like owning a place on Coney Island Boardwalk is a pretty good moneymaker. Like that's a pretty guaranteed success, right?
It depends on what vibe you're going for.
Well, they're going clams and hot dogs.
Yeah, but are they going for like gentrified clams and hot dogs? Or is it like
I want like
to this
gross clams and hot dogs.
I want you to give me a bucket.
Yeah.
That has like filled with the steamed clams. Yeah. With like a chunk of bread on top of it, like a ripped half ripped bread.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that sounds fucking good.
Oh, I want that right now. I need this to wrap up because I think I'm gonna go
my cramps hurt.
Find some kind of seafood. Continue.
You all have seafood too. No, I'm starving. Okay, so they come across. Okay, Wyatt, Aiden's son,
one of the whiny one,
the little bitch, calls to spoil the fun. Dad, can you come home now? Mom is being a real dick. Now, that conversation ends right there, as far as I'm concerned, because you can't do that. Also, like him and the mom has already been painted out to not be a horrible bitch. She's a very normal mom. You don't talk about your mother like that. And I'll come home when I'm coming home.
I also think, though, it's kind of established that if a kid is saying to their parent, mom's being a dick, you've kind of allowed that already. I would never in my life say that. My parents were even divorced, and I never would have said to my mom,
I never did that.
Dad's being a dick. My mom would have still been pissed.
Yeah. Well, also just the language in itself. But Carrie looks really cute here, I wrote. I don't remember what she's wearing, but she looks really cute.
I think I keep seeing TikToks of people being like, how Carrie is insufferable, always has been. She's disgusting. She's desperate. She's whatever. And so now I even watch this and I'm like, the way that she was wearing her outfit and she's like, oh, I'm going to sit on top of this picnic table.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to drink this beer with the boys. It's like.
It is a little annoying.
It's a little exhausting.
She's turning into a bitch eating crackers for you.
It's like, she's like, I'm a boys. I just love hanging out with the boys.
Yeah, right. Oh, she's Sheena.
Yes.
Steve brings Carrie a beer. And Steve said, after Miranda, I found myself right down here at the boardwalk. And I turned around and I found this place. And he bought it.
I have a hard time believing he's like, him and Miranda broke up and he's like, where I'm going to go? Coney Island.
Well, he was just wandering around. He was so lost. Son, did you wind up in Coney Island? Miranda. Okay, so now we're Miranda. Aiden comes back and he's like, oh, Wyatt's, being a little bitch. Miranda at work now. Nina, the boss, who was pregnant before, but she's the one that gave Miranda that upgrade. She arrives back from maternity leave and she's like, she hated maternity leave. And then her and Miranda have a nice little moment here where she's like, don't judge me just because I'm back already. Because everyone's like, why are you like already back? Don't you want to be home with your baby? And Miranda's
she's like, I've only been on 5 weeks. She's like, 5 weeks of maternity leave was enough. See, I watched this and the lady came back and I'm like, what? It's been 4 months? Jeez, that was quick. Because don't people go on longer maternity leaves than fucking 5 weeks? Anyway, she goes on 5 weeks. That's
Miranda says, I took 8 weeks and I hated
12.
it.
12. Said, I took 12 and it felt like 100.
I can imagine.
Jesus. The thing is, if you got to take the 12 and you didn't have to deal with a newborn baby, then it would be great. But it's the baby part that.
Jenny was very like that when she had the baby. Well, one of my favorite things about Jenny is that I had my mom crochet her Phoenix Suns colored baby blanket because they love the Suns.
Yeah.
And she sent me, I was like, send me a video of you unwrapping this. And it was just like the cutest video, obviously. Also, she's like, 2 weeks postpartum. She already has her body back, looking like stunning.
Oh.
And she starts the video and she opens it. She's in the kitchen. She's holding her dog, Dr. Joe Biden, and she's like, here's my dog, and like she unwraps the thing, and like at the very end of this like 5-minute video, she's like, I should probably show you my baby. She's like, it's just very bad, and she's like, no, I want to go back to work like now.
Well, she's
I don't know what to do all day. What?
She's a Miranda.
And an Amanda, except she's not an Amanda because she did end up having a baby. We were the two that were sticking to it. Anyway, Miranda and the woman bond over this. And there's something coming up that something's going to happen where Miranda is meeting at the UN to do an interview with the BBC about whatever environmental shit this company is, right?
Okay.
I only pieced that together because I know kind of how
I don't care enough about that.
Well, you're gonna care because she might end up face deep in someone's pussy by the end of this season.
We have one episode left, and I'm assuming it's this random woman that she met that I'm struggling. I know this is jumping around, but I'm struggling to believe that every lesbian that is encountered by Miranda is so smitten by her.
Oh, I just assumed all lesbians that encounter each other know each other, and
it doesn't make any sense. Every strong appearing, smart, beautiful woman that Miranda comes across is like, ooh, you're an intriguing woman. And Miranda's whole thing is like, oh, hi. Oh, like, just like, oh, nice to meet you. I just like, that's making you horny.
She turned into Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty had his shit together more than Miranda does. Like,
so
oh my
too.
God. They should have cast Miranda, Cynthia Nixon as Hot Frosty.
Sam Smith now is at the gallery. This guy.
Fine.
There's something about his vibe that I really find off-putting. I don't know what it is.
I think that a lot of people have an issue with him because he's too gay, and he can be gay, but he shouldn't be fat and gay.
That's not why I don't like him.
I think that is not
I love the fat gay. Okay.
I think that's just, I think the societal issues in general with him and the way he is.
Oh, I didn't realize other people didn't.
Him being gay.
I didn't think other people didn't like him. I genuinely.
Oh, a lot of people have problems with him now.
Oh, because he's gay and fat?
Because of the way he's really acting.
Fat. Oh, no, I think it's more that he reminds me of someone that I can't even put my finger on that I don't like. It's more specific to me. Okay.
I'm not saying he's fat. Trust me. I'm probably Sam Smith's side. Like, him and I are probably the exact same side. Well, what I'm saying is, society, like, if Troye Sivan, all I'm trying to say here, all right? Troye Sivan, do you know who that is?
Nope.
Okay, he's a skinny little gay, all right? He does gay shit and he's skinny. People love him and exalt him to the heavens. Sam Smith, if he does the same thing, people are like, oh.
Jonathan Bailey.
He's fat doing it.
Me and John sent things, Jonathan Bailey TikTok back and forth. It was like him rehearsing Dancing Through Life. And I was like, I just came. And then John's like, I saw that earlier and I jizzed all over the place.
Well, because there's a part when he's on top of a desk and he's like rehearsing, and it's this move where he like body rolls himself like up. I'm like, and the camera angle too is like,
yeah, it's very forgiving.
I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. Well, Sam Smith is at the gallery with Charlotte, and Charlotte is in puff sleeves, polka dot. Yeah, okay.
I thought Charlotte looked really good this episode.
She does. Yeah, no, I think I just like
especially later. She wears a
I'm liking puff sleeves lately. I feel like they're coming back in a little bit.
Okay.
Rock calls that they forgot their notebook at home. And I couldn't even imagine giving my mom this call, and she'd be like, so what exactly would you like me to do?
When I was in school, my parents worked. They were they wouldn't have been available to bring me anything.
I wouldn't even have the audacity to call my parents because like
that was never a thought to even cross my mind.
Work. Yeah, it would be like, well, I guess you're doing extra credit because you're failing that assignment.
Why is Charlotte bringing her child's notebook to
again, like you said, she's they've allowed this behavior to happen. So this is their own fault, really. But Charlotte calls Harry, and this I thought was a solidly funny scripted line here, back and forth, where she calls Harry and Harry goes, well, what's going on? You said it was an emergency. You scared me. I thought my dad died. And she's like, why did you think that? And he's like, because I always think that. That call is coming. And I mean, I get that. It's just the way he read it was very funny because it was also as a 40-year-old now. I'm like, the call is coming. Sorry to be too real, but it's funny. John seems perturbed or frozen.
Oh, I'm not perturbed. I actually more liked where they established that Charlotte was like, oh my God, I fucking do this a million times. You've never done it. I'm the mother. You're the father, whatever the hell she ends up saying.
Yeah.
And then
also, wait, didn't he say that his parents died in that one scene when she's like, what would you she says something when they first are hooking up, they have a conversation. Maybe he just says my mother is dead. And she goes, oh, you're so lucky. They're talking about like, yeah, they must have, okay. Or they just forgot. Or they forgot, I think is more what happened.
They might have made it that his mother was dead because he followed the relationship of Trey. See here, they did use logic back then because Charlotte would be happy that he doesn't have a mother because Bunny was such a twat when she dealt with Trey.
Mother-in-laws can really make or break something. Like
I know a few mother-in-laws. They're not my mother-in-law, but there's some people I know's mother-in-laws, and I'm like,
Brad's mom was awesome. I loved her. She was like the nicest woman, just like so nice. But since then I've had one bad mother-in-law, but it was that was like a doozy. It was
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, like she was a true sociopath in every sense of the word. But anyway, ladies who lunch, Charlotte and Lisa Todd Wexley tell Carrie that she won some raffle at their school, which is a private dinner at her home for 16 people prepared by a Michelin star chef. So I'd be like, so what does that mean? People are coming into my home? And
is it implied later that it might be Andre Rashad?
No.
Okay, because later Naya is being invited and Naya is like, who's the chef? Like she seemed very like questioning who the chef was going to be.
That part doesn't happen until the last episode. Oh, there's a really cringy like moment coming up between her and the chef, but okay, it's not Andre Rashad. It happens.
So Naya does want the chef or something.
Yes, she's like interested in like fucking the chef. Because obviously the chef would be a man, right?
I guess that's why they said that line. That's why she said that. In this episode.
Like, oh, who's the chef? Maybe I'll fuck him.
Oh my God.
Carrie's like, maybe I'll do it at my old apartment. We can use it as the Last Supper.
Well, Lisa Todd Wexley actually calls it the Last Supper. And they're like, and Carrie's like, brilliant, genius. That's why you make documentaries or some shit like that.
I wrote Amanda. Miranda looks amazing. Amanda looks amazing.
See, I'm struggling with Miranda's look because I love the outfits. I feel
she's wearing orange and beige pantsuit with belt.
She's constantly wearing, it's a pattern thing, actually. And it's like it's gorgeous, but the way they're styling her makeup and hair is too harsh for her, I feel. They're doing too dark of an eyeshadow in some of these scenes and they do like a gelled thing with the hair where like she needs a softer hair and a softer makeup personally.
Oh, I would love to see her in like a Janelle Brown look. Have you seen Janelle Brown in recent interviews? How she kind of has that like lesbian chic hairstyle. And
no.
But it's like a loose, like her hair is like chin length. So it's kind of a light, kind of swoop back bouffant kind of look. Like, and it's kind of slicked back at the sides, but not really. Okay, well, anyway, she looks amazing. I would like to say, but why don't they just always have Miranda with the exact same hair and makeup as in that wedding episode. They should just always have her looking like that.
That was the episode I started thinking about when I was like, when I was like, she needs to look softer. And I was like, the way she looks in that scene with the lilacs.
Yeah, lavender.
No, I think they're lilacs.
I think it's lavender.
This is where I'm going to fight you. They're lilacs. Lilacs.
But they are purple, right?
They are, but lavender has tinier flowers.
Right,
this has like a cluster because she's like, I love the lilacs or whatever. She has a line where like, lilacs are my favorite or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. I love lavender. It's my favorite scent.
And I would never fight you. When are you getting your kitten, Foster?
Oh, like this week they have a meet and greet for like all 3 kittens, and then like whichever one of the 2. They're like they want me to take a bonded pair, and I'm not having 4 cats in this house.
Oh yeah,
I'm just having 1.
Anyway, sorry to sidetrack and continue.
You'll see it. You'll see the cat. Miranda's working at the UN. Oh, Carrie's going to use this last time. Miranda is working at the UN. She's walking and talking with Carrie. Carrie tells Miranda about Steve's new place, and this I'm interested to see what your opinion on this is. Carrie's like, I saw Steve's new place, which fine. Aiden is an investor, so fine. And she's like, also, by the way, we're going to Che's comedy concert. And I feel like, Carrie, you are officially a bad friend. I know that Che was your boss for that podcast you did, but like at this point there's been a lot of like bad blood between her and your best friend for over 30 years.
Oh, see, I don't think that I didn't feel like Che and Miranda's relationship ended like anything, and I don't think that either of them seemed to do anything.
Carrie
it wasn't like
Che aren't good enough friends that Carrie should have any kind of.
Che was friends with Carrie before Che ever met Miranda.
No, but they aren't like good friends. She was like her boss.
I think going to her comedy or going to the comedy thing is like.
Well, then Carrie shouldn't have brought it up. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Carrie doesn't.
Well, why did fucking Miranda go? Spoiler, guys, Miranda goes to the comedy concert.
And it turns out it goes exactly. I mean, I guess I like that storyline because maybe that would happen, but also it's insane to think that Miranda would be like, oh, maybe she'll put me in her act because their act. Sorry.
Why would you even go? You'd go to your ex's
Carrie has shamed Miranda several times on the original series too. Like, you always write people off just like you did Steve. It's like, well, they're broken up. Like Miranda says, like this man, like, what am I supposed to talk to him about? The weather? This man has been inside of me, for God's sake. Yeah. Although I'm friends with all of my exes except for Roddy. Carrie tells Miranda, yes, so Carrie's bad friend. Carrie's now out shopping with LTW. Charlotte is out shopping with LTW. And
this is when she looked so good. The hair, Charlotte. The hair just was really soft and pretty, and her makeup looked really good, and she was wearing a pink like off the shoulder thing, so her shoulders were showing. She looked really good. LTW looked fine.
I mean, she's the most beautiful woman alive. So
she is. They refuse to like,
remember that bathroom scene where she put on the wig.
Yeah, but they refuse to like zhuzh her up.
LTW is like, maybe don't stop telling people about my PBS documentary in case it falls through. And Charlotte's like, why would it fall through? And LTW is like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, I don't know if I'll be able to do both. And Charlotte's like, well, no, I promise you can do this. And then my note was like, well, yeah, you actually can do this, LTW. You're like filthy rich.
That's what I was thinking.
Logistically do.
I was like, honey, you could get a round-the-clock nanny.
But what I do like about this storyline is that they are carrying on. They're bringing up a conversation that doesn't happen is, what if you could have the baby? You're financially fine. You've had other kids. But what if kind of something in the back of your head is saying, I just don't want it. Like, I don't want to do this.
I liked where they started to go there.
Yes. And I appreciated just the conversation happening.
Yeah.
We could do this and there's no reason why we shouldn't, but I just don't want this baby.
I wouldn't. My God, if I already had 4 kids and my youngest is like 8 or 9, fuck no.
And I have this big opportunity. Yeah, absolutely.
But we find out that stupid what's his butt didn't get a vasectomy.
I would be And because she knew that already, but like I'm glad that she's bringing it up. But anyway, LTW is fully sobbing at this point, and my note is, "Girl, get an abortion then." Anyway, at the vet clinic, the boss. Oh yeah, okay. At the vet clinic. Oh, I want to correct something. I said a couple weeks ago. Oh, this vet clinic owner, you know. I was like, oh, I assume this person was trans. Judy. I was like, I assume this was a trans person. Then I looked it up and it's not. It apparently is a trans actress. So I just wanted to at least say that. So great. Judy.
You never looked it up on here.
I did. No, I did look it up, but it didn't. There was nothing that indicated that they were trans. But obviously, I like went to their IMDb.
Well, it's kind of established. I kind of was surprised because in the scene, the doctor comes out and is like, calls Che she.
Right.
I accidentally do all the time. And then I felt bad this whole episode, the whole thing watching it. I'm like, oh. It's hard sometimes, but that person would be like, wow, you think it's too hard to do. Anyway.
Well, Che kind of dresses him down. But he's actually like, I assumed he was going to be a dick about it, but he wasn't. He was just like, oh, yes, I know. I'm sorry.
He is, but I was kind of surprised because what they're trying to purport is really and show is that this vet office is like, I thought it was all queer or LGBTQIA people because that's what they kind of.
Yeah, but maybe Judy isn't. I feel like Judy might just be like an assistant or something, or like the head of the secretaries.
She's one of the vets, but on the computer, there's a freaking gay flag.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, great.
Like, I thought it was a whole gay vet.
Well, the boss is coming to Che's comedy concert. Yeah, actually, Judy calls it a comedy show. She says comedy show. And I was like, thank you.
And Judy's going to be like turning it out because.
Che's like, don't come. Because apparently Che is, even though Che was basically Jerry Seinfeld before, because their pilot that no one even really knew about didn't get picked up. Now they're starting back at the bottom of the barrel comedy clubs in Brooklyn.
They also show a chunk of Che's set.
Yeah, back when they were.
No, I mean their current set before the Miranda. Like Che's having this moment. I don't think it happens here, but at some point where they're watching videos back because they got misgendered. I think it happens.
Yes, but at that point, they're watching videos of them when they were a woman.
They start watching their current shit because they're telling a joke in it being when you're a something, you don't know what blah blah blah, the intersectionality. And I'm like, and the audience is like, I'm like, of course. I just feel like it was giving TED Talk, which fine. People just would not be uproariously laughing during that. And then Che puts on clips of when they were presenting as a woman, and the whole act. I wanted to feel deeper in this. I wish they would have made the jokes. I don't know how they could have done this because they play this like really like longing, like I don't know how to describe this like music that you would expect, this like piano music, this like this sad music, and Che is like smoking and like crying, I think. And the jokes are like, yeah, I took him home and I fucked him all night. Like it was weird because I wanted to feel something. And I think they were trying to imply that like back when Che was presenting as Cheryl, that their jokes all round like
they weren't
revolved around being sexual and all that, because later all the jokes that Che makes are sexual and stuff. I felt like Che was then having that's why Che has that set about Miranda later, right? Where they're making all those jokes, and she as in Miranda is upset that Che is talking about their relationship, right?
I guess.
I thought they were tying back to. I think that. I thought I might be giving them too much credit, but I thought that they were trying to imply that Che watched back their old comedy routine when they were Cheryl, okay? And they decided they need to be more like Cheryl, whose comedy routine was all about their fucking and their past with the relationship.
Yeah, but Che's check this box one was pretty sexual too.
But it was more about when you're a non-binary person, people don't know if they should fuck you in the front or fuck you in the back. It wasn't like, I met this guy the other day and he was blah blah blah. I used to go out with this guy.
I didn't put those two together as being that deep, but again, I'm not expecting that much. I think you might have made it. Yeah, I think you were. But okay, so Seema and Robbie. Oh wait, sorry. Anthony and Giuseppe finish fucking facing each other. I will say this always does baffle, like alarm me. Not alarm. Alarm sounds bad. It's always just like, oh, whenever I see two men fucking and they're facing each other, but like logistically, yeah, it's like the hole is literally in the exact same spot.
You can easily fuck facing each other.
Oh, yeah, but and it seems like that would be the more natural way to do it, right?
No, I think doggy style feels
would be just be like okay,
the most
if
natural.
You're just gonna hook up and you're just gonna go with it, you'd go doggy immediately before going initially.
Likely because when you're in doggy style, like the ass is like spread open, really.
Okay. Is it tighter than when you're facing each other? It must feel very different.
If you're facing someone, there's farther for your dick to like go, really.
Oh, because it kind of squishes everything a little bit.
Because if you're like here, you're facing each other. Here's the wiener. It has to go past their dick and balls, past their taint into the butt. Oh yeah.
Well, but if you're laying, you have to lay like with your feet like way up here.
You would put their legs back. Yeah. You put their legs back. Yes. But the end of Giuseppe and Anthony, Giuseppe's legs weren't like up back behind his ears or anything. It seems to me
like they should be, but whatever. What do I know? Giuseppe goes, okay, now it's my turn to fuck you.
Now I fuck you in your booty hole.
Yeah, and Anthony's like, that's not who I am. And also, okay, and then I said, is this a thing with Anthony's generation? But then he does go on to explain, in my generation, the roles were more established. I'm not the girl. And Giuseppe's like, I am the girl. And he's like, no, it's not like that. But I am, they gets established. I'm fine. I've never been fucked, okay? I'm not the woman. And fine.
I just think that this seems ridiculous because Anthony, of all characters, he's pretty faggy. And so, I mean, pardon my French, but to say that he like refuses to be the woman,
I guess if I were to put it into stereotypical gender roles, I would have assumed that Anthony was a bottom. Because he's
same, and honestly, not to be mean, but not anything. Giuseppe gives me more in the relationship of Giuseppe and Anthony. Giuseppe gives the top vibes and Anthony gives the bottom vibes.
Well, anyway, they argue about, but I think that a good point. I feel like this conversation begins and ends with, no, your dick is like a freak show dick. So no.
I agree. And they did have that conversation, but Giuseppe's like, yes, but I will take it slow. And I would be like, baby, your dick is going to tear me up. Like, really?
I'd be like, well, why don't we go to the porn store and like buy an exact same replica size as your dick, and then you take it up the ass for me with this.
Here's the thing, guys with big dicks, they are naturally able to take big dicks too. All I'll say is I think with Giuseppe, if I was with Giuseppe, I'd figure it out. I'm not I think a lot of people would expect that I'm a big old bottom too. I guess people would probably put me in the Anthony category thinking I'm a bottom. I don't like taking dick in the butt. I'd much rather not be the bottom.
I just imagined Giuseppe like fucking me with his dick. And because I'm on my period, like it made my cramps just go.
See, I'm imagining Giuseppe fucking me. And like anyway, maybe we could talk about that on a Patreon episode.
Yeah, well, anyway, they Seema and Ravi now are fucking. And they say I love you during this. Mm-hmm. This would send me into a spiral, I will tell you. I don't know what this would do, but this would fuck me up. I would spiral.
I just don't care enough about this storyline.
I totally am on board with this because I feel like if this happened, if it was like while fucking the first "I love you" happened, I definitely would say it back just for politeness sake. 100%. I know I would. because then it's super awkward if you don't say it back. I always feel like that. If somebody says I love you, just say it back, and unless say it back, and then if that makes you think, oh, I definitely don't love them, then maybe break up. But I feel like in that moment, just say it back.
Honestly, though, I can see Seema and Ravi being in love.
Yeah, well, he says later. Well,
their
anyway,
types make sense and they get along and everything. Like I would get
would.
it, and I think too when you're older, I would think that you would.
Yeah, but Ravi gets around. He's
move in a little faster than that.
Sure. Also, he's like, but he's also like he might be like a playboy.
Well, I'm sure he is.
Well, anyway, Carrie is with her neighbor. Carrie with neighbor. Lisette is at Carrie's apartment. Lisette is now officially going to buy Carrie's apartment for, I don't know, like $1. And Seema doesn't seem to like Lisette. Seema seems really like, like, oh, hi.
Well, here's the thing.
You're here.
Seema's a realtor.
Yeah.
And as a person who also, I do work in real estate, guys. I don't talk about it on here, actually.
Right.
I haven't for a while. I do. I'm a realtor, actually.
I have a job, John says.
So that's what I do. Anyway, I'm a realtor, and in a way, I would get it if that was my friend. And they were like, you know what? I'm going to sell my house way undervalued to this random girl who lives downstairs from me. I'd be like, you're stupid. I'd be like, you're dumb.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't like the girl either. I'd be like, are you kidding? I'd be like, sell it to me, like Carrie. That, shit. I'll buy it for that.
I always feel like in a situation where somebody just doesn't need the money, my theory would be, but get the money and then donate it.
Exactly.
Don't just say, fuck it, get the money and do something with it.
I actually think it would have made a lot more sense for this show if Carrie kept her apartment and offered to let Lisette live in it.
I think
that would have made way more sense.
I binge listened to all of Couldn't Help But Wonder, that other Sex and the City podcast. They're very good. I've already listened to them before, but I re-binged it. And they said the exact same thing. Like, it just doesn't, like, keep it, but let her live there.
And
good enough.
Exactly, because like, the show still want the apartment.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you don't know Lisette that well. Give it to
but she has curly hair and titties that poke through her shirt, and she's skinny.
Right, but it's like it seemed like so many other people that like offer it to like Anthony or something. Offer to one of your lifelong friends that
Anthony. It's established that everyone already owns and has like humongous, lovely, gorgeous apartments. Like everyone in this show is rich as hell. So even Naya has like a gorgeous, amazing, wonderful. Like Naya's apartment would be over $1 million.
Oh my God, my coffee's now 7 days late, my K-Cups. Amazon, I just was saying Amazon's been on top of it, but now it's delayed to the 17th. Jesus, I'm gonna have to go out and get some in person. Anyway, Miranda meets with Joy from the BBC at the UN. Mm-hmm. She goes home, talks to Naya about Carrie's dinner. This is the scene that you misinterpreted. And Miranda's like, I don't know if I'm gonna go either. Or because Naya's like, I don't know if I'm in the mood to go to Carrie's party. Miranda says, well, I don't know either because Che might be there. And then okay, this storyline is insane. Andre Rashad now sends Naya an invite to his baby shower. And by the way, Naya's outfit is really cute here. She's wearing like a mint, I
wasn't even paying attention because she again addresses him as all her friends as Andre Rashad. I can't with that shit. Is his name hyphenated? That is the only way I will deal with it.
No, I don't think it is. But Naya says, from now on, I just need to cut off all my exes just like you, Miranda. And then that triggers Miranda.
And Miranda's like, I don't cut off my exes. And she's like, yeah, you do. Cold turkey's your thing. And Miranda's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And she's like, yeah, you did that with Che. You did that with
be friends with Che. I guess lesbians kind of do remain friends a lot. But
I just look at Che and Miranda's relationship as like so not real in any way. Like it did not, it never once seemed deep. It never once seemed like that Che was a different person.
They kind of addressed it in the next episode. But anyway, Naya is getting a gift. And Naya's thing is, well, I'll just get them a really expensive bougie stroller to be like, look how good I'm doing. And actually one of the writers on the documentary said this is exactly what I did. So fine.
I'll tell you, I've done a somewhat similar thing before. So
This is where Che is at home watching themselves do stand-up that you also put way too much precedence in. In bed, LTW is...
I want to believe.
All right. Well,
the
now
writers
LTW
care.
and George Washington is in bed and she's like having a meltdown. She's like, why didn't you get a vasectomy 8 years ago when I asked you? And he goes, I wasn't sure. It's after Gabby. I thought it was maybe the hormones talking. And LTW says, it's never just the hormones talking. And I wish more men would get that into your fucking heads that like we still have control. Like it doesn't turn us into like a werewolf.
I mean, personally, I think that when women are on their that time of the month, they should be shunned away.
That's why they should never be president, because we might be so hormonal that we'll just press a button that ends it all, right?
Because I mean, men have never started wars or gotten emotional.
Men aren't moody either. Men are usually have really good control over their emotions.
Yeah, they never like get upset at like something stupid and kill their whole family, or like go into a mall and shoot everyone, or stuff like that. That never happens with men.
So she goes, right now, and then she said, he goes, don't worry, I'll be there to help you. And she goes, right now, you barely help me with the kids that we have. Mm-hmm. So what happens when you win?
This would drive me crazy too.
Also, I love the storyline is that he's running for comptroller. And it's like, well, then I guess
it's a big job, baby.
Yeah. Is it? What is it? Is it like a treasurer or something?
I actually don't even really know.
Okay. Well,
let me look it up as you continue.
He goes, whatever's best for you is what I want. So this is what it sounds. Basically, they're talking around. She's like, well, maybe we need to have that other conversation. So they're talking around the abortion storyline. And he says, whatever's best for you is what I want. So great.
Okay. The comptroller is the city's chief financial officer. The comptroller scrutinizes the mayor's budget, examining the soundness of its fiscal and economic assumptions, and advising on potential developments affecting the city's fiscal outlook.
There's an election for that?
I guess.
I don't really care who does that.
I feel like it should be a nonpartisan position.
Well, yeah. Isn't it just looking at numbers and facts and then just like...
It shouldn't be an elected position. It should be the person who's most qualified for the job.
Yeah, well, but we can get into a whole...
It doesn't work. Elections don't work like that in the United States.
Anthony shows up to Carrie's house and they drink. She greets him with a Cosmo. She said, Stanford out. Okay, so this is how they. After watching the documentary, I feel like I'm a little more softened to this because they
You're kidding. I hated this. This is the worst scene in Sex and the City history.
Really? I don't think so.
I hated it. I was like, why are we shoehorning this in? Honestly, if they never said anything about Stanford again, I would not ask a question. Would you?
For real, but they did feel like they should wrap it up.
I'm just assuming he's in Japan with his TikTok person.
This was his storyline, though. They had a written storyline with him going to Japan and becoming a Shinto monk.
Even before he died?
Yes, because they knew he was sick, but they were still gonna have him be in a bunch of episodes, but he just could not do it anymore. But this was a storyline that they were going to follow through. So this wasn't just a thrown together thing at the end. This was their plan.
I hated it. I hated that this was their plan.
But this is
they have a dumb long conversation, yada yada. He ends up giving Anthony all of his earthly possessions because he's detaching himself from everything.
This is a dream, though, because Anthony already has a new boyfriend, and Stanford's already tied everything up. And
Giuseppe's way hotter than Stanford. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure he fucks better.
I would love.
And Anthony and Stanford had a totally toxic relationship too.
They don't even make sense. It's two bottoms. Two bottoms don't make a top.
It was a cute joke for the first movie that then they turned into them being in a full relationship.
They should have just kissed in the first movie.
Never mentioned it again.
It should have been more like
in real life. That is real life. Like, all right, we're both here, sure.
It should have been one of those moments where we kiss and then we're like, okay, we'll stay friends.
Right. Yeah. And so they tied that up. Carrie, this is one of those things that Michael Patrick King does where it's or maybe actually, I think I might have heard this on I Couldn't Help But Wonder podcast because they listened to all of Michael Patrick King's episodes of his podcast. So I was getting information from that. But Michael Patrick King was going on and on about how it was a brilliant improvisation moment for Sarah Jessica Parker, for SJ. When they were drinking the Cosmos, and then she just like kept drinking the Cosmo. So
like I've never seen that happen.
I know
before.
that bit. Well, at Shay's comedy concert, Carrie and Aiden are in line, and Carrie asks him to come to the Last Supper, and he basically is like, "No, you can fuck right off." Aiden, I'll agree with this. Aiden's like, "Look, I don't want to sit up front and be heckled by the comedian," which I get. I don't want to either. Miranda now shows up in solidarity.
Unnecessary. It was just wasting our time.
It was so that later he could be like, "Look, see," because then
that's wasting our time.
It is. I get. Yeah, it is. Charlotte is out getting hammered, by the way, and she throws her phone in frozen margarita. Oh yeah, her friends have now invited her out. Bonnie Milligan,
because she sold over $100,000 artwork to Sam Smith, and that's their tradition. They poker. She finally decides she's going to go out, which you should. She gets wasted.
You should. She drinks, and she's so wasted, and her phone keeps ringing because her stupid family keeps blowing her up, and she throws the thing into a pitcher of frozen margarita, which I'm sure the restaurant really appreciated. At the club, Toby, who's Toby? Oh,
Toby is the 20-year-old who's chasing Che.
They have shown up to see Che now, and Che now takes the stage. And remember, everyone, Che doesn't know that Miranda's there. So, shocker,
what?
Miranda's the entire source of the set, which ends up being a TED Talk about sexual confusion.
Here's the set. It's like, I don't know what. There was one line I did laugh in here where she was like, "God damn it! See, this is the problem. I'm the problem." They, as in Che,
right,
tells a joke and is like, "Yeah, I just couldn't be with her because she would bring 4 people into the bedroom. Me, her husband, and son." I didn't laugh at that, but
not funny. That's like therapy.
I know. All of this was like, you could, but you wouldn't say this if the person was there. And then Che is like, "Yeah, every time I'm with someone, if I'm with a straight woman like that, they just keep expecting my clit to get hard."
You thought that was funny?
I didn't. Ugh. Amanda, it's pulling at straw. We're grasping at straws here. I thought, wow, compared to the TED Talk, which would have been, "Hey, when you're and I'm not judged." It sounds like I'm being bitchy about non-binariness, but it would be like me going up on stage and being like, "Well, you know, when you're a gay guy, you're persecuted by the entire world all the time. If every day I'm walking down the street expecting it to get hate crimed, instead, the other day I was walking, here's my fake Che set. Me, John Mome as Che. The other day I was walking down the street and this guy drives by me and I was expecting him to call me a faggot, but instead he complimented me on my shoes.
That's actually, I feel like you could work a joke out of that.
But I don't like what we're premising here, that you're trying to talk about some like statement of being, I don't know. What I'm trying to get at is I didn't hate the joke because it was Che. It was something. I kind of laughed.
Well, anyway, during this, Miranda freaks the fuck out. Also, it wasn't even like bad. All of this was mild comedy.
It was stuff like, you know, she had a lot of baggage. I never should have fucked her. Stuff like that. And it's like,
again, like, why would you not expect that if you were dating a stand-up comedian?
Why would you go to their show anyway?
And not tell them too. So Miranda storms out and Che like sees Miranda go. So then Miranda now walks away and like waits outside. So Che comes outside and they're like, "Miranda," and Miranda's like, "Not cool, not cool." And they fight.
As though everyone in the audience knew that woman is the person who Che's talking about.
Also,
Che's like, that redhead bitch over there is the one who did this to me, guys.
Yes, you have to say Miranda. And also, like, this is the definition of what RuPaul says of what other people are saying about me or think of me is none of my opinion. Yeah, it's like, you didn't need to go to the comedy. Che can say whatever the fuck they want about you. You're right now you're currently ghosting them. So
Also, they've said
whatever.
plenty about Che, so
Yeah, and like you really blew up your life for this. Anyway, Toby so Miranda walks away. Toby is like, "Hi, I'm here too." And
Toby's
Che's
like, "Hey,
"Hey."
Che, I thought your set was really great.
Yeah.
I'm wet for you." And then
Oh,
Che's
and
like,
now
"Hey, I didn't
Che
know you
starts,
stuck
like,
around."
Che starts like trauma dumping on Toby, like, "I wish I could just be me." And it was a great way to start this relationship with just this bitter, fucking cynical bitch just being like, "Here's all my trauma."
Again,
So,
I'm not understanding how they would be together anyway, because Toby is 23.
yeah, but Che's not mature. So Charlotte
But
arrives.
you're telling me you would go from Miranda, a 60-year-old woman, to it. Well, actually, a lot of people do that. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Charlotte arrives home
Yeah.
drunk, and
Yeah, who
everyone's
cares?
like shocked. Everyone's like, "Oh, mom's drunk."
You're
Charlotte
like, "Where have you been? We've tried to call you. We needed you. We needed you."
Although I will say that Charlotte is at fault because that is fucked up to like. Because
Oh,
now
well,
that
if I
we
was
do
calling
have
my
cell
family,
phones,
yeah, if I was calling my family member
I
repeatedly
would
like
freak
that, I would be
out.
nervous. I would
Yeah.
be concerned.
Of course, like I was worried. So then Carrie and Aiden, last night in their hotel, Carrie will have the bedroom in our new place ready right after the dinner. And then Aiden admits here, because apparently John Corbett, this was his idea. I want Aiden to claim some fault here too. So Aiden's like, "Look,
Oh,
Carrie,
really?
I was at fault and I pushed." I mean, this is true, I
This
guess.
was his idea?
But this is a good point, is that Carrie
But this
wants
was his idea.
to be like, "I want Aiden to claim some responsibility
He
for the
said that
breakup."
in the documentary or something?
I think, or he said that on the podcast, and then he said it on Can't Help But Wonder. But
Okay.
when Carrie, remember when she like, what's one of my favorite lines? It's when he is moving out, and then he like helps her fix her toilet, and then she's like, "If you say or do one more nice thing right now, just please leave." And then she goes, 3.5 hours later, I peeled myself off the bathroom floor. That is like such a real moment. Anyway,
Yeah.
when that happens, she goes, "Well, you can just stay a little longer or forever," because I feel like Carrie would have stayed with him.
Yeah.
Like she would have. He
Mhm.
just needed to lock it down. So that's what he's saying here. Like, I was so obsessed with locking you down. And like, so yeah, that is true. He was the one that kind of broke her heart in that situation. He was pushing her to get married. She didn't want to. She wanted to wear the ring, not around her finger. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
So now Kathy calls with an emergency, and Aiden now has to book a flight home because Wyatt's in the hospital with a broken arm.
Because Wyatt got drunk or was upset at his mom, went to the farm,
He said
got
he wanted
drunk,
to sleep at home. At the
got
farm.
drunk, took his dad's truck, and then crashed it into a tree.
Yeah. Honestly, this is how my parents would have reacted to this. Okay, is she okay? She's alive. Yes. Okay, well, now her life is fucking finished. It's
Now she's
over.
alive. Great. I'm gonna kill her.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, I'll tell a story here. So I got my very first car was a truck,
Good choice.
a Ford Ranger. I had no choice over what truck it was.
Okay.
It was one of the old. So my dad worked for a road striping company and like a traffic control company, and then whatever. So it was one of the old work trucks that I think my dad bought it from them for like $1,000. This was back in in like 2002 or 2000 maybe, because I think I was still 15 when I got it. But that's like a long time ago. For reference, okay? So I have the car. My dad, I got my license. Actually, I think I might have just had my permit. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
None of this is relevant to the story. I don't even know how much this car costs.
It is. I guess that
okay.
isn't relevant.
Right, yeah.
You're right. Whatever. You don't. But it was my first car. I'm giving context. I love context in a story. It's like a Ford Ranger, which is these little tiny 2-seat truck. Okay.
I actually do know what that is. Yeah.
And so I asked if I could. We had rules.
Those TikTok videos where it shows like a simulation of like a semi crashing
Yes.
into different cars and like how much you'd live.
Oh, I see these where it's like a giant hammer swinging in a circle and it's cars trying to like drive past this giant hammer, and the hammer will like smash the car like off a cliff if it goes at a certain time.
It'll show you like how much you would survive.
I've seen those
Ford
too.
Bronco, the O.J. Simpson car, is always just fucking smashed. Yeah. But I feel like the Ford Ranger would be a close second to that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I had rules. Like my parents were like pretty strict. Not strict, but like kind of. Like I had a curfew. I had to like let them know this and that. With the car, I wasn't allowed to have anyone riding in the car with me. I was allowed to take it to school and home. And then if I wanted to go anywhere else, I would have to ask before I could take it wherever I wanted to. And I could not have anyone in the car. Okay. And I had to go where I went and go home. So one day we were having, like, I was in a club. I think I was, okay. I was in the Spanish club at school. I did not speak Spanish or even take Spanish. It was that I had friends who were in the Spanish club. And it met at like lunchtime, so we'd go to the Spanish club at lunchtime.
Still always managed to hang out at Mesa Community College, even though we didn't.
Yeah,
I have more memories at that college than at ASU.
That's true. And so, like, I had asked. We were doing a car wash or something, so I was like, "Can I drive my car to school to go to the car wash?" And my dad said, "Yes, but you cannot have anyone in your car, and you need to go to school and home." Okay. So I do the thing. And then my friends are like, "Oh, we should go to wherever it was. We should go ask for donations or something." For some reason, we decided we were going to go to Pep Boys, which is like a garage type car shop store thing.
Yeah.
Some people might not. Anyway, we go there. I decide I'm going to put my friend in the car. So I was doing already two things I shouldn't have done, which is have a passenger when I wasn't allowed. And then I drove somewhere else that I wasn't supposed to drive. Okay. And I was also 16. So this is like one of the very first, I think this might have been the first time my dad ever let me take my car without like him being there or anything. It was like the first time I was allowed. So I'm at Pep Boys, pull into the park, try and pull into a parking spot. Of course I'm young, so I kind of jacked it, fucked up. So I flip it into reverse and I backed into a fucking car that was trying to drive around. Like an 80-year-old man was trying to like go around me, and I back into him. Mind you, his son was there too, who was like a 50-year-old man who I guess was like standing across the parking lot, like trying to keep me from backing up, I guess. So this man,
are you making it seem like this guy is somehow the villain of this story?
He is, because he runs out, he comes up to my car.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm confused. I've never driven. I'm in a shit place. I'm fucked because my dad told I'm basically breaking every rule. Yeah. I've now crashed into a car the first time I'm allowed to drive it. And this man comes to the window. It's like, "Why didn't you stop? Why weren't you stopping? I was standing over there waving and telling you. I was yelling across the parking lot at you to stop. You are the villain.
You're the wrong person in this scenario.
I'm not. You know who's the wrong person? The old man trying to drive his car around another car that's parking. Okay. Maybe have a little patience, old douche. And in fact, the old man wasn't even mean or mad. The old man was nice. It was that his son was yelling at me. And
to stand up for his elderly father.
I'm the biggest bitch in the world. Trust me. I really am. But I understand that a part of a car accident is the word accident. I don't get out of a car and start screaming at someone like, "Why the fuck did you run into me?"
Okay, so what did you do? You cried.
What the hell does that do? I didn't cry. I had to call my dad. And literally, this was the phone call. Because I had a phone, the like Nokia brick phone. I was like, "Hello?" And my dad was like, "What did you hit?" Literally, that was literally like not in a good, honey, not in a good way. Okay. No, the story is the very first time I ever took my car out, I crashed it, doing everything I shouldn't have been.
And your parents were like, "That's okay."
No, they sure as hell weren't. That was part of the reason I think I had to get a job. I think I got a job partially to pay for the repairs
there
to
you go.
their
Good
car.
parenting right there. Good job, Kathy.
My parents were very, it doesn't show now, but they were very, doesn't show in the end product. I'm just kidding. There are things that I am very responsible about. So
Yeah.
they've taught me.
We're so
Anyway,
close to the end.
we are. So sorry, guys.
One time I was driving and all my friends.
That's the point of your story.
This is actually a really good story and it's quick. I was driving with a bunch of people in my car that I wasn't supposed to. I also wasn't supposed to drive other people, but I had a carpool every single day. And it would be me, a passenger, 3 in the back, and then somebody lying down across everyone's right. So on the way home, I'm going through a speed trap. I get the ticket and I'm like, that wasn't me. I know that wasn't me. I wouldn't have even been driving there at that time. So then my dad goes down and like looks at the picture and it's me driving with way too many people in my car. Nobody had seatbelts on. And then my boyfriend's like whole like face was like out the window, like being an idiot.
Great.
My boyfriend who I told him I
your
had broken
dad
up with. Yeah. No, I was in but it was almost like funny. Like it's like, you should have just paid the ticket because now I've seen not only that it was you, but that you did all these other things.
Oh, that's what you're saying. You didn't.
I was like, that wasn't even me. And then I got in more trouble because there was now proof that I hadn't broken up with my boyfriend and that I was still hanging out with all these hooligans. Too many people in the car.
Druggies?
No. We were lame.
Okay, so Rock is a piece of crap and everyone's upset. And is that where we were at?
Charlotte, Carrie and Aiden. Oh, Aiden apologizes for all this shit. Kathy calls an emergency. Oh, Wyatt's in the hospital, the broken arm. Aiden's like, I gotta go home. Which I would argue, well, why? He's like, fine, what are you gonna do?
He's in the hospital. I mean, what can happen now that he's in the hospital?
When I hurt my ankle, my dad didn't come visit me in the hospital.
But I'm gonna tell you what's not gonna help your kid not do your kid, the reason they're in the hospital is because you weren't there.
Yes, and he was trying to get you to come. So here you are. I guess it worked.
Oh, see, no, honey. I'm thinking the opposite.
Well,
I'm thinking that if in the moment when your child is so needing you so badly that they reach out that way, that you abandon them more, it will just make it worse.
No.
I think it'll just make it worse if you just continue to neglect your child.
I think that you're saying, oh, you got what you wanted. He was trying to wild out and act a fool.
Well, then Aiden should apologize to him.
Apologize to Wyatt? Who called his mom a dick in the earlier part of this episode?
Well, don't abandon your children.
Abandon.
Go be with your children instead of Carrie.
I mean, I agree with that.
There you go.
This thing wraps up. Aiden. Okay, so Miranda calls. Oh, LTW loses the baby, and I actually like the way they handle this because she comes out and she's like, "Okay, what's his name? Herbert?" Or
they did actually have a genuine conversation too that we kind of blasted through, where they did contemplate abortion, and they had that actual question.
You were looking something up. But I said
sorry. I was looking up what a comptroller is.
He comes out and she says, I'm bleeding a lot. And he goes, okay, let me take you to the hospital. She goes, okay, but I think it's too late. So I like that because she's kind of conflicted where she's like not really that upset about it. It's like, it's too bad, but well. Miranda calls Carrie now to cancel, and Carrie's like, "No, you're coming." And Miranda's like, "No, you should know what Che said to me outside," which Che didn't really even say anything outside. Che was like, "I'm a stand-up comedian, you bitch."
Yeah, like hello.
Yeah, and you ruined the family scene, which is probably why the pilot got canceled.
Then Carrie turns it in a way I wasn't really expecting, and Carrie's like, "It's actually because Steve's coming. You don't want to come because Steve's coming." And Miranda's like, no, that's not it. But
no, no, that's not what Carrie said. Carrie's like, Miranda's like, you want me to come just because Che's going? And Che's like, no, I think you should come also because not only is Che going to be there, but also Steve. You need to face your demons. And also I'd be like, so you've invited 2 of my exes now. Before, like, I would be pissed. And now there's 2 exes. That's a lot to ask of your friend to come and deal with.
I probably wouldn't have invited Steve. I definitely wouldn't have invited Che either, but it makes more sense to invite Che than it does Steve, weirdly.
Because Steve was never hanging out in the apartment. Like, I think in this situation, you have alliance to your original friend.
You know, though it is a TV show, and if they didn't invite Steve, then how would the season wrap up? I mean,
right, you got to have them all in there. So Aiden calls Carrie and goes, like, Wyatt's fucked up. He had beers. Next episode, we find out also mushrooms, and he drove into a tree trying to get to the farm, and just like that, I was worried.
Wait, no, we're skipping that. Aiden is like, I'm gonna do a reenactment of Aiden in his car.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Carrie,
this is the part you hated.
Hi, Carrie. Well, I actually hated her line. I hated the whole. I didn't. Him crying, fine. It was that then that made Carrie worried, as in he was gonna leave her. I didn't understand what they were implying.
Well, yeah, I think yes, I would be worried too. I'd be like, what is this?
Then I hated it. I hated the way they made this.
My relationship right now.
He's like, why? That's not even exaggeration.
No.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it was like weirdly uncomfortable.
It was,
really,
like, yeah. It was
like,
little,
okay, sweetie. Like, are you trying for your Emmy here? This is your Emmy episode.
Yeah.
Girl.
And just like that, I was worried. So that's good. That was the shortest episode we've ever done. Good for us.
I don't think so. I think we had one that was less than an hour one time.
Uh-oh, John.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Next week is the finale, and then we'll be all caught up.
I'm excited for next week because Anthony's taking it in the butt.
All right, guys, join us on patreon.com/podinthecity for some extra bonus content. We did Hot Frosty. Next week we have Diva's Christmas, and last week we had on Christmas Day. What day is it? Why, so it's Christmas Day. There's a whole controversy I can't wait to talk about with Muppet Christmas Carol. Well, I'll just tell you right now, really quickly. People, it's like they're saying it's like a Mandela effect, or it's like, there was this song "When Love Is Gone" that was cut, and it was never seen by anyone. But luckily, in
it was seen by other people.
I know, because I owned it. So we taped it off of TV or something. So it was originally aired, but they were saying that no one had ever seen it. But luckily, someone magically found it in the late 90s. So they added it back. And I'm like, no, babe, I knew that original version.
It was always there. Then they cut it out because I think it was considered boring, maybe.
Yeah, but they said in test screenings, the kids were getting too fidgety. So they cut it out of all of the releases. Well, I don't know what happened, but I saw it.
I'll just say that kids will be fidgety in it anyway. I tried to show it for our holiday Christmas party.
Candle in the Water on Pete's Dragon, and I love it. By the way, when we watched it the other day, it is cut out of the movie still on Disney Plus.
If you go on Disney Plus, I was going to ask you if we should do the real full cut, because on Disney Plus they have an extended version.
Oh, then it's probably in there.
It's in that. I think people were saying on TikTok that you had to.
So many times, I'll just keep it in the background. But that's
yay! We love you.
We love you. Have a great, wonderful week. See you next week. Bye.